We live, I believe. Yeah, we live. All right, what's
Beautiful.
going on, people? We are back. This is the B2L Kickback on Thursday nights. I'm your host, Jelani Hashim Bracy, the CEO of Black to Life. And tonight we have returned again.
CEO.
Yeah, man, you know,
I
it's like
like
the
the way
chief
that
executive officer.
sounds.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So we got Saba the goddess here with us
Hello,
once
hello,
again,
hello.
gracing us with her presence. And we have my homeboy way back, Demetrius Dotson. And what we have been talking about and discussing, these are conversations to enrich and inform our community, Black community. So we have been talking about basically the violence. The last conversation we had was the violence that's perpetrated on us by American society and how it's looks like it's just prevalent and ever going. Ain't no look like how it is prevalent and ever going. It's nonstop. And solutions that we were trying to come up with, that we actually came up with, was separation. Like that's what we came up with. Either here in America to separate ourselves or in the motherland. But either way it went, even the brothers and sisters that decided we were going to separate here, the main goal was to always have an outlet or reach back to the motherland or reach back to home, to Africa. So that's what we have decided. So as a group, we have decided that like we haven't come up with anything else that could help us live cordially or live harmoniously in this nation, but separation. There is no history of it since the first Africans that were dated that were brought here. Because what people don't teach you is Africans always, we've been here before. So before 1619, but when we were brought here, there was a certain a call that was put on our lives by those that brought us here. So anything that didn't, pan out to that wasn't gonna work out. So as we came up with separation, my question to you guys is, and I think I know what y'all gonna say, but I just want to know what, and just to refresh the people, what does that actually look like? Like, what does separation look like? Physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, all that. Like, what does it look like?
I think it's personally all of those things. Definitely a separation from their system of government and establishing our own. When we talk about a democracy, I can say with my bloodline, we have something called the Gada system, which is actually like a system of democracy as well, a democratic system. But I think establishing what we feel like is best for us, physically separating, meaning we don't necessarily need to intermingle with you. We don't need your acceptance. We don't need to beg for permission to work at your jobs. True ownership, and also when it comes to the spiritual systems, let's really delve into these spiritual systems and how they benefit us. I can't, from a personal standpoint, say that any of the prevalent religions have benefited African people as a whole. And we're talking domestically and in Africa. It has been of detriment to a lot of indigenous spiritual systems. So for me, it looks like all of it. And we don't need shit from you. So, but
And when
in
you say
order to
you,
assert that we're talking about white people, white
okay,
America. We're talking about separating here. Um, I mean, I just feel like true independence is going to come with a real separation of their resources, and again, combining with our resources in Africa, or our Africans as a liaison, to utilize their resources to work together. I think it would be beneficial for us. I know that's easier said than done, but I think that there are people who can be put in place for each specific role. Everybody has a function when it comes to revolution and when it comes to these talks of separation. But it's all of that, all of what you said. How
Right.
would we really liberate ourselves if we aren't looking at the assimilation aspect of this? How we've used their spiritual systems, how we've used their systems of government, and how it's benefited us, and how we want to move forward, talking about change.
Right on. Cool. Dasa, you want to add to that? What does it look like to you, this separation? Like, what does it really look like?
I agree with the above approach. Um, I have a kind of a different take when it comes to, I guess, the economic side of it. You know, once we do decide to separate, then I think that would actually put us in a position of power. We've now separated from, you know, and well become economically viable on our own. So then, you know, if we wanted to, you know, do business with them, it would be in a position of power uh, compared to being in a position of servitude. So as far as separating, yeah, I think we do need to separate our economics from them, but I think we still can utilize some of the things that are still available to us. Uh,
Would you be so kind as to just kind of give an example of what you're talking about?
well, just like specifics, like railroad systems, like they're going to be, we're going to have to use their highways, their railroads, their water systems. All those things are going to have to be
Mm-hmm.
utilized. Uh, Even though we have separated ourselves from them, we still are going to have to utilize those forms of systems because they're here. Those the railroads are already set up by them.
So
So
why do
we
you feel
would,
like it would be in a position of power? I'm sorry, I don't mean to interject. I'm just trying to
well,
get a clear understanding.
just say as far as goods, if we're going to set up businesses and shops of that nature, we got to get them to us. So we're going to have to utilize uh, every mode of transportation to get it there, which those modes have already been set up. So we're going to have to utilize some of those things. We're going to separate, but I'm saying it's going to be in a position of power. Like it won't be like, okay, we're coming to you all begging to use your thing. Ultimately, hey, if we can't use it, we'll just set up our own system.
But
Uh,
that is
So
going to
you
come with us
saying
actually manufacturing products.
yeah, but you
And
got to
so,
get the products to you.
okay, so you're talking about it in terms of transportation.
Yeah, transportation, uh, of course, everything that's built in the economic system, the stock market, we still would have to utilize that stuff, I think, in some capacity. But it will, you know,
electricity,
yeah, electricity.
like you saying?
Well, we
Yeah,
well we talked about that, the water system, the electricity. When we talk about
yeah.
separation, where are those things um, when we have these conversations? Because what does independence look like if we're still asking them for electricity and asking them to supply us with water? We can't be truly independent.
Well,
So
that's why
how do we achieve that?
the only way I would think that we would be able to achieve that is we have to get away from this
Solar
country. Period.
power.
We have to get away.
We would have to be innovative in the forms of energy that we use.
Yeah,
So solar power is going to be a huge thing if you're talking about
yeah, but
separating.
that can only do so much. Solar is just a very small percentage of power that could be produced with solar. You have to have, oh man, acres on top of thousands, millions of acres if you're going to support a a whole, like, well, cities, states, municipalities, all these things. When it comes to power, man, it comes from all over the place. You got
Are you speaking? My bad. I mean, because I just wanted to make sure that we get this on on record and like on point. You are speaking from experience, right? Because this is your field of work,
yeah, yeah,
right? As a civil engineer, like you're talking as practical, right? Like,
yeah.
hey, it's gonna take. Okay, go ahead. I just want to put that in context. Like you just wasn't talking.
Okay,
Like you actually. Oh, go ahead.
has anybody looked into the specifics of Akon City?
No, I
From
haven't.
my understanding, it's supposed to be solar powered. Is it not?
Yeah, he got the land for like I think it's for all of Senegal, I believe. And I know he got like that $1 billion loan from he got from Chinese people. Like he had some connects.
It's 6 billion. It's $6 billion.
Oh, 6 billion.
Um,
Okay.
yeah, it's $6 billion. I
But I know he
saw
had the
the
land.
plans. I
Okay,
saw
you
the
saw the
plans
plan.
for it. That the plans are on YouTube, and they just have these illustrations, these 3D models of what it's going to look like and how it's going to be structured and everything. I don't want to like speak erroneously, but I believe when he was speaking about it, he said that it was going to be solar energy.
He
I'm
did.
not sure. He did.
Yeah, yeah. He spoke on that of being solar energy.
But is
But
it
Okay.
going
like,
to be 100% solar? See,
See,
the
I don't
key,
know. That
yeah,
I don't
yeah.
know.
And then to your point, Demetrius, he has the land for it too. Like it ain't gonna just be a couple of he got like land.
yeah. But
He
look where
finna
he
put this
is.
on.
He's in, basically a black country. So that's why I was going back to my point that I was about to make. Really, truly, if we're going to really separate ourselves, I think we would have to go back to Africa. You could do it here, but there would be.
But you said you said here. Didn't you say here?
I
I
did
said
say here.
Africa. You
I know you
said
said.
here.
I did say that, but I'm saying if we're going to really just thinking about being practical, everything that's set up here, uh, do we really think that it's going to be just like clockwork? Is
No.
it?
Oh
Yeah,
my gosh. It's probably not even work that can be done in our lifetimes.
yeah. But it
Right.
can be. Yeah, it's going to take. Well, it won't really take that long, to be honest with you. If we purchase a property, you'll be surprised at what can be done in a couple of years. If you look at neighborhoods, I just look at in my small town what happened in a couple of years from the
Mm.
time from junior high till I got out of high school. Places that were trees, and then all of a
Oh
sudden shopping
yeah.
centers and all types of stuff popped up. So things can be done. There's a lot of innovative ideas. Technology has sped the construction processes up, so things can be done just like this. The only problem is the pushback in doing these things. Of course, there's always going to be pushback, but who cares? I think once we make the decision that this is what we're going to do, of course, you're always going to have detractors that say, "Hey, man, you can't do this and you can't do that." But when the majority of the people see the benefits of actually separating yourself and doing something on your own, I think then that's when it will become more attractive to everyone to get on board.
I want to speak on someone that I've been recently, I don't want to say introduced to, but kind of sort of. There's a guy in Atlanta who has a music company, and he is a family member of someone who is in Ghana currently looking to buy land and build. And so when I inquired about the process, I was like, you know what? I'm trying to put my 5-year plan together uh, for my little exodus. So I need to, ascertain some information on how you went about doing this and how did you plan. And the brother literally said, I left with a backpack and a one-way ticket. And so he went to Senegal, and the place that he was staying was really nice. Multiple rooms, upstairs, downstairs,
Is that that
$35 a
dude you
night.
posted? Is that that dude you
Yeah,
posted on
yeah.
Instagram?
So
That
yeah,
shit was
50 he
dope.
said $55 a night. But then when I was talking to his cousin, he said no, it was actually $35 a night to stay, to live like that. So he was in Senegal first, and now he was in Senegal waiting for the borders to open to Ghana, and now he's in Ghana. And so the plans are for them to purchase land there because of the dual citizenship. And so I'm really eager to see how all this unfolds, since he just kind of abruptly got up and left and was like, no, we're already, that's their thing. We're already rich. So let's just go back here and just get what's ours. So I'm eager to see how that unfolds.
Where is he currently working now?
He's
Or did
not,
he just
I don't think he's working. He just
just
left.
left? He
I
just
mean, so
left.
he had to have stacked up some
Yeah.
money.
Cause 35,
Um,
what you said, $35 a night?
yeah.
So let's just say $40. Let's just say $40 a night. What's that time? 30. That's what, 1,200? That's
Mm-hmm.
$1,200 a month.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So if you stack enough that's rent. I mean, that's mortgage, rent. Shit, twelve
Yeah,
hundred
and
dollars
see, but
ain't
that was
nothing.
like an Airbnb experience. So if you're living in like an apartment or something like that, and it was pretty large with a nice view and all of that. So let's say you're just living in maybe like a one bedroom apartment, it's probably going to be much cheaper than that.
Right.
Because
Right.
even my dad, he was telling me like you can live nice, like nice apartment over there for like maybe like $250-$300 USD
I
over
ain't gonna
there.
even lie. I've never even looked into that. So I'm gonna go online, just look. I've never looked up real estate or anything, to buy in Africa. I looked up a trip to go, but I never
Yeah.
looked at buying anything there.
So
I
that
just
is
never
that
thought
is
of
the
it.
plan right now for them. So that's what he is there for, is to kind of scout out the land and the opportunities, so that they can build. Like they're really serious about it.
Yeah. And to y'all points, man, like when we was talking about that separation piece, like I've said before, I think it needs to start first in the mind. And to my point, when I just said I never thought about going over buying a piece of property, like that's me on not even opening my mind up to, like, I just never thought about it, but that's because of where my mind is, and it just needs to elevate. So when I say your mind, like, if you're just honestly, if you grew up here for most of your life, you're probably thinking like an American,
Mm-hmm.
like an individual. Pull yourself up. You can make it if you try hard. Everybody got a chance. You know what I'm saying? Like, you probably thinking on that level, like hustle or get it or don't get, or be got. And that's not Afrocentric mind. Like historically, we are a communal people. Now I ain't saying
Right.
like it ain't just people out there that ain't for themselves. That's in every category across the book. I don't care, you black, white, green, yellow, or purple. But as a whole, as our ancestry, we have a communal spirit and person about ourselves. So I think that's the kind of mindset we have to think. Because if you thinking ain't no way I'll be able to do this, would you say ain't no way we'll be able to do this? You know what I'm saying? It got to be a
Mm-hmm.
change. Like, we can do this, and you just got to get with some people like Dawson said. We from a small town, Starkville, Mississippi, and we can remember where trees was places, and it didn't take long. But somebody got together and said, "We finna do this. We finna bring this here." And usually, it's not anybody that looks like us. Which and that's all that is about. Is not because we can't. It's because we don't. It's just a mindset. Like, we got to get out of that as a whole, an individual mind of thinking that someone else can do better for us than we can. There is no one that can do better for us than we can. We just got to start believing in that. So uh to segue into another subject about separation. So we got on a political topic as well about voting and within this system, because we're in this system. So what are your thoughts, just succinctly, because I think we touched on, we didn't really get too much into it. We finna get into this about voting. I want to know, does that help, or does that add to the inclusion of us here? Like, basically, can you vote your way out?
You know the answer to that. That's almost a
Hey,
rhetorical question.
wait.
Uh,
Hold on. And the reason why I asked that, because of the point I had brought up earlier, with that conversation earlier, like from 2 weeks ago. Mississippi put the first black senator in Congress. And this is Mississippi, right after slavery was over, and black people put the first black senator in Congress. And then after that, we put some more in, and a while we had the majority of some states, and we was making a lot of noise. But then here comes Jim Crow, and here comes the lynchings,
Andrew
and here
Jackson.
comes Andrew Jack, all that, and they just wiped out what little political power we were almost gaining. So that's why I asked, do you think we can vote our way out? Because there was a time when when we were considered to have less than's just coming up out of something, it was working. And you see the violence that had to be extracted on us for that to end. So that's why I came back to that. Like, now, like, do you think now that could work, or you ain't really feeling that?
so look, I'm not an aficionado of politics,
So
but I
I don't
I
think none of
try
us are.
to I try to look at things from a common sense perspective, and maybe just a tad bit of like probability. So it just looks like for us to actually um make a difference on a just nationwide scale, I don't think that us as 13% of the population can actually do that in the macrocosm. In the microcosm, absolutely possible. So when you talk about the accomplishments of Mississippi, is that what you said, Mississippi?
Yeah.
Or even when you look at what's happening with Atlanta and the mayor there, what's her name, Keisha Bottoms or something like
Yeah,
that.
Keisha Lance Bottoms.
Yeah.
Yeah, so when you look at those types of small victories, that's what they are. So if we look at this on a grand scale, I think for a while there have been Black people able to get in politics. I mean, we look at Obama, but how does that produce impactful change for the Black community? And I'm not talking about um, just micro change. I'm talking about real radical change. And so you find yourself, like I said a while ago, um, I was watching some sort of lecture or debate they were having, and I've spoke on this before. There's always two types of Black people, with their opposing opinions. One side wanting to actually dismantle the system, and the other side wanting to integrate and try to change the system from within. But then you end up 50 years later having the same conversations. So I'm not looking for um, I'm not looking for anyone to assuage me. You know what I'm saying? Momentarily.
Mm-hmm.
oh, this person won the election. Great. How does this help Black people? Sincerely. And I think, remember, we were talking about that meme, like the hood, the way it looks while Obama's president, the hood while this person's president, the hood while, you know.
Bush, all
And
of
so,
them.
yeah, all of them. And so I guess that's my qualm when it comes to politics, is how does it really affect impactful change for Black people that isn't like baby steps, that isn't us, you know, doing this long, lingering, waiting for change.
Well, I think
I
that
think the
happens,
problems
and I'm gonna let you.
persist.
Yeah, I'm gonna let you talk to me, but I think that for like radical, drastic change, that has to happen at the local level. It ain't gonna never happen at the national level because, like you just said, the hood when Obama was there, the hood when Bush was there, the hood when Trump there, don't matter because they're the president of the United States, not those cities. You know what I'm saying? Like those cities are ran by local officials, and we need to elect people that we can hold their feet to the fire. And I just believe that as a people, and I know we only 13% of the population, but we populate the majority of these urban cities. See, we populate all of them. That's what we are. We in the urban cities. Like the ones that make this world go round, like the Chicago's, the Detroits, the Dallases, the Atlantas. Like we in those cities, Memphis, like are in those cities. So I think we could have more control if we were more politically active and educated. I really do think that because, like I said, when we was coming from out of nothing, we made radical change by putting people in the Congress, and they and the consequence to that was, well, not the consequence, but the reaction to that was to kill us and to scare us, to put in those Jim Crow laws of how many
Black codes.
how many bubble gum pieces in this jar, how many bubbles in a bar of soap.
Jelly
So,
beans and shit.
yeah. So look how drastic that had to be because they was like, look, they are getting power. Like we were getting power locally and nationally, and they was like, man, we finna shut this down. The Knights of the Ku Klux Klan started riding. I mean, Jim Crow was alive and well, and that's where it continued. Like
So,
I think,
so is the sentiment that Black people can run the country?
do I think that?
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I do. I actually do because of the influence we have. Like what this country wouldn't be shit without us. Like honest, let's just be real with everything on the table. Money, style, care, like nothing about this country is
The arts, the science, the
nothing
patent,
about this country
everything.
is desirable without us.
But
Inventions.
these are just seen as novelties. They aren't associated with real power.
I
That's
know,
because we don't
but we,
associate them with real power.
yeah,
That's because we think that, and that's my whole thing. Like the mind, like if you, to me, if you would honestly like know all the things your people did, and not saying that they came from slavery and they had this, if you actually knew who you were and what you was about, like I would never look to anybody else for anything. It's a lot of us that think we need somebody else to lead us because you can't trust Black people. Like we ain't got it together. Like a lot of us have got that in our mind for some reason that we can't do anything without. Like we
So
have to
where is
have
the
some kind of
capital
help.
coming from in order to run the country?
what do you mean?
Okay, so didn't Dr. Claude Anderson speak on how you get to these different floors when it comes to politics? I don't know, correct me if I'm wrong, but it takes money to do that, right?
Yeah, if you're gonna get something done, it's gonna take some money.
I, I don't. It's going to take money, but it really, to be honest with you, I've had so many conversations with younger people. A lot of young people, especially a lot of young Black people, do not vote at all. They do not vote. And going back to what Jelani said, our influence, what we influence, if we would use that power, if we would use, I saw the look on her
She went to
face.
sleep.
Yeah. If we would actually use that power for change, like I think we could actually run the country, but it's never been tried before. It has been, but as soon as you
How?
start to
How are you going to run? Like
hold
somebody is
on,
going to have to
let,
literally
let me
do a
ask,
diagram, and I need to see the numerical projections
let me
on
see.
how this is going to be accomplished.
Let me
With
let me
13% of the population,
let me tell
how
you
do
how
you
it.
run the entire country?
You hold on. First of all, you you
Allies?
gain
Is it?
you no. You gain the presidency first of all, but you put somebody in the presidency that is similar to Donald Trump. One thing about Donald Trump is he is using the maximum power of the presidency. He's doing things they call them presidential norms. There's nothing to say that he cannot do what he's doing. He's doing everything that he wants to do because there was nothing there to ever say he couldn't do it. They call them presidential norms. It was just what past presidents have done. But it's still nothing in the law that says he cannot do certain things. So there, when you say that it's nothing that can be done to directly uh, affect our communities, oh, things can be done by
I so
executive
my
order.
comment was, please don't misquote me. My comment was that this can be accomplished in the microcosm.
No,
It
no, no, no,
cannot be
no, no.
accomplished in the
Macro,
macrocosm.
macro
So
immediately. Macro immediately. If you have someone,
do it.
look, if you have, okay, if you have someone, first of all, if you got someone to get into power and say, you know what? Well, I'm by executive order today. You all don't want to give reparations? Well, I'm saying it right now, reparations today. Like someone can get up there.
And how long do you project that it will take before said person is assassinated?
Okay, then so there, hey, isn't that's what we want? That's the start. Tear the whole system down. If we
Jelani, come on,
no,
man.
I'm serious. Look, it has to start somewhere. If we're talking about tearing the holes, you cannot we cannot sit up here and be afraid of what may happen. You got to start somewhere. Someone got to take the bullet. No, but
So,
seriously, there are things that can be done on the political scene, but we've never exerted our power politically. We always let someone else dictate how we're going to vote or when we're going to vote, what person
So
we're going to.
I would like to do this because I don't know statistically um, how this has been demonstrated, but I would like to know, how the enthusiasm for voting and participating in the democratic process. I would like to know how that's changed over time. Um, because I'm sure that this has dwindled probably more recently. I think that Black people were so eager to be accepted and wanting to vote and doing all of those things. So I would say that there has been a decline in voting probably within the last decades.
I
I'm
believe
not
that.
sure though. I'm not sure though.
oh yeah,
So,
yeah.
at what point did we get all of this power to where we could actually run the country? Because I feel like it should have happened already when we had more people who were eagerly participating in this process. But because I don't have the statistics, maybe somebody else has it. I don't have the statistics on how that's changed.
Maybe that's something we need
I
to
think
delve
when we
into.
were I think when we were the most eager, like from the civil rights 60s and 70s, that's when we were being even more suppressed. Like it was actually like you were dying to vote. You know what I'm saying? And then I think when the 70s and through the 80s just came through, I don't really know how the enthusiasm for voting left, except for the crack
No, we got
epidemic. It hit
no,
us
we
in a
got
lot of
comfortable, man.
it hit us in a lot of ways. I think we did get comfortable too, because some people, moved out of the ghetto and they moved to these little neighborhoods, and people got okay with it because I don't
They
just
got
some
yeah, they
people
got
did.
yeah, they got their little piece. They got their little piece. I got
Like
mine. I
today,
need to be clear.
like today, we doing all right. So it's people out there like us that just
You
wasn't
ain't in my
tripping.
bed. How you know, bug?
I mean, you got Wi-Fi at least. I know you got Wi-Fi at least.
I'm surviving. I'm scratching and surviving.
Well, you
I
got
can't.
Wi-Fi, so you need to let that go if you scratching and stuff. But no, but seriously, it's like people get comfortable because they don't want to rock the boat, or they don't want to, I guess, lose or jeopardize what's theirs. And I think through the 80s, like I was a youngster during the 80s, but I just remember like I think people think it was okay, just like it was just fine. The 90s came around, black folks was making money, but we was going to jail in the thousands from that three strike rule. Like when Clinton and them hit us with that, but most of us was making money. Like the 90s was a boom for everybody. The economy was on point, but you still had these slums and ghetto that people was ignoring. So I think it's just a combination of people not being educated. I think crack hit us a lot of ways, and people, to Demetrius' point, were just comfortable. Like they think it's over. I remember marching with my mom, to City Hall during those days, like back in the the late 80s, when I was a little younger, or a little older. And back in the day it was thousands. Then it was hundreds. Now it's about tens. And I think you're comfortable in being uncomfortable. It's like you can look at police brutality and be like, well, that ain't me because I got home safe. All the times I got stopped, I got home safe.
I don't
But
know if
ain't
it's
nothing I
so
did.
much that as it is to this sense of, hopelessness that a lot of people may have.
So you think people are more hopeless than they are anything else? You think they look at voting and be like, it ain't gonna do nothing for me anyway?
We're not seeing any direct change. Like I said, our neighborhood still looks the same. I'm still struggling to find a job. I'm still trying to just use my survival techniques to live. Um and so that may have something to do with it. I'm sure that's a huge contributing factor to the attitudes of people towards voting.
That's a good point. I can see that. You lose because, to your point, there is no. I mean, I've always said, like, I telling me that I'm the first in my family, in my immediate family, that was born with the right to vote. That is not an accomplishment. I'm not proud of that. Like, that's not anything to be like, oh, it's sad. It's sad to say that my mom, my dad, my grandma, people that was here way before me, that I've met, that I know, couldn't vote when they were born. Like, that's crazy to me. And to your point, it's like I see the hopelessness that you're saying, because they ain't stopped the police brutality. White supremacy ain't stopped. Racism ain't stopped. It seems like it's a problem for it to stop. No, it don't seem. It is a problem for it to stop. So most people, in my opinion, because I think most people are comfortable with being uncomfortable here, because If they weren't, honestly, America would cease to exist as it does.
I
Like
mean,
if we were really,
what are we getting in exchange for the vote? You know, if this is a transaction, then I think that there's not too much you know, as far as tangible results. You know, what are we getting in exchange for our vote? You know,
well,
people,
I
we've
think
been
right now,
voting. Go ahead.
okay, and I'm gonna let Dots, I'm gonna let you go. I think right now what we're getting for our vote for this season, if you pay attention, it's I think we're getting leverage. I actually think, and I'm not pushing no party either way or the other, but the Democratic Party in this day and age is like the best opportunity we have to actually make some change and make some kind of influence, because that's what we all are. If you look at the majority of black people, you can say whatever. We was on a Democratic plantation. You can say we've been voting Democrat for years because we don't know whatever it is. Most of us are in Democratic positions in the Democratic Party. So I think this is the perfect time. Like I think this is the perfect time. And unfortunately, with all this shit that's going on, we have to be strategic with it and use it. Like, don't just holler out our people's names, George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. Like, let's use this fuel. You know, like they just put up this monument in Clyde Warren Park. I don't know if you just saw that, but they put the monument in Clyde Warren Park of like all the black people that have been gunned down you know, by the United States government, police brutality. Because I saw Malcolm X up there, but it's only gonna stay for 5 days. You know what I'm saying? I think they do. I think they do shit to like appease us, and then we'll be like, "That's a nice gesture," and then we forget about it.
I think that it is oxymoronic to say that I want to separate, but then say that it's necessary to participate in their democratic process. And that's just me from a personal standpoint. If we're really going to say, oh, okay, a remedy for the things that we're experiencing here is to separate, then why even put energy toward that process? That's energy that we could be putting toward actually separating. So those people who really want to separate, can you kind of expound why they should be participating in this or care about what's going on in their political processes?
Go ahead, Dice.
Well, first of all,
I got it.
some people are not going to separate immediately.
I'm speaking with specificity to those who want to. If
Okay,
you
well,
really think that that's an option, if you
there's
really
really
think that's
that's
an
not an
option,
option. That's
and
not an
that's a
option.
pursuit.
That I mean, there's a great point that you made. If we're going to separate, who cares what they got going on over there? We creating a whole nother system over here. What y'all got going on over there doesn't matter to us anymore. What y'all squabbling over, you know, who's getting
Who's
this,
the better liar?
yeah, like
Who's the lesser of the two evils?
yeah.
You
We don't,
know, all of that
yeah,
shit, in my opinion, is asinine
yeah.
to
It,
people who actually think that separation is an option.
and
And
to be honest with you, oh man, once we actually separate, it's really going to topple the whole system. To be honest, to topple their system of government because they are codependent upon everything we do, whether it's the arts, music, uh, especially on the economic side. We're the number
there's
one.
sports and
Yeah,
entertainment. Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
absolutely.
Sports, entertainment. We're the number one consumer in the entire world by ethnicity. Black people are. We spend the most money by ethnicity, but than any other ethnicity on the face of the earth. We spend the most money. So by us removing ourselves from the equation, oh, there goes the stock market, all that stuff. Uh, it's gone. It's up in smoke. It's a domino effect. So
there's definitely something about, you know, black dollars that, you know, you see all of those companies were coming out with these statements, these politically correct statements about the Black Lives Matter movement and the things that were going on, the racially charged injustices that were happening. And then, you know, you have these companies coming out like, oh, we support Black Lives Matter. It's not that you actually support the movement. You know, I don't care for
it's the
Black Lives
dollar.
Matter myself, but it's that you don't want to lose your consumers. And so
Of
whatever
course.
you need to say to pacify your consumers, you'll say.
So I got a
Yeah,
point. So I got a question to ask then. So if we only 13% of the population, why would they care about losing our dollars?
because we
Well, it
spend the
may
most
have
money.
something, yeah, it might have something to do with what he's saying. I don't know. I don't know the numbers on that.
We spend the most
But
money.
if we really spend the
We
most
do.
money, then they know that I mean, all business models are about profit.
Right.
So if your consumer looks like me, you, or Dotson, then you're going to do what you need to do to keep your consumer, because it doesn't fit your business model to lose business.
We spend
So
the
that's
most
why
money.
I said that I think we could run this thing because we got the power. Like money is power.
From you can't. I don't think you can necessarily run it. You make a difference in how much they profit, but they're greedy.
Mm-hmm.
They can still make money. Like, how much are white people spending? They're spending their money too.
They ain't spending like us. And
No,
it's
we
more.
look. If you go back, if you go look, I've looked at these statistics before, and it's been the same way. Even when during the civil rights movement, we were spending the most money back then. Why do you think? I saw this old video where they were talking about how do you gain the, I guess how you get the Negro to purchase from your store? Like they knew who was
Yeah, that
spending the
was
money.
in like 54 or
Yeah,
something
yeah,
like that.
yeah.
How to sell to the Negro.
We spend the most money. We
A
buy
black
all
person actually did that.
we buy the high end products. We do all of these things. So, and when it comes to, I think we discount our influence. When our influence carries over into other people, uh, white guys are buying hip hop wear because we're wearing it.
So this is the thing when it comes to that. I'm like, I would have to look at the numbers. I really would. Because even with that approach, when we're talking about this I think it was 1954, when how to sell to the Negro, how to sell the Negro, or something like that. It was like a little documentary or something came out. It wasn't necessarily that, oh, we're losing money or we don't have enough money. It was, hey, the Negro is earning money like anybody else. Let's not miss an opportunity to grow our businesses by denying business from the Negro. It wasn't that they were in dire need of our dollars. There was an opportunity there to profit.
I don't know about that now. They
I'm
thought.
telling you, the approach of the entire documentary was based on, hey, these are the numbers. This is what, hey, sweetie, these are the numbers. Negroes are earning
You got me
so much
looking back.
money.
I'm thinking.
We need to get some of the money that they're earning. Business owners, don't count them out.
Oh, I had to
We're
laugh.
That
not
was how
talking
that
about
was framed.
we're not talking about
This was
businesses
on
that were
something else
failing.
when you said that. You said, "Hey, sweetie," I looked around and I'm looking for my door, and I looked back and saw his son. It was like it was, it was like, it's like it was messed up because I'm looking on
Because
the
I ain't know
screen.
he was right there either. I was like, man,
No, I'm looking back and I'm looking at your. I'm thinking your son behind me.
oh, dude, yeah, you crazy. That was crazy right there. No, but like you saying, Saba, it was framed like that. It was like the Negro is working now, so let's get their money too. And when we start, and like you said, when they offered us, and like you said, they offered us the customer service of the products, we ate it up. Like we ate it up. Like we
Yeah,
bought
but
everything because
we've always had to buy their products. We've
right,
been
because they were
buying.
producers. They were the
Yeah,
producers.
yeah,
Yeah.
we've always been, back then. If you listen to, I was listening to even Martin and Malcolm were talking about how much money we spend. We don't have to beg them for anything. If anything, if you don't want to give us what we want, then we will just remove ourselves from the system. The number one, like where that was exemplified the most was the boycott in Birmingham, well, in Montgomery, the Montgomery boycott. When they started boycotting the bus system, they didn't want that.
But then we heard our brother though. We heard our own brothers and sisters with that too. Because the
Well,
brother,
of course, that's because we didn't do what we supposed to, but we directly affected them. They
it's
said, "Oh
true,
man, we
did
losing
directly
too
affect
much
them.
money. Hey, just go and let them get on the bus. It's not even worth it."
Yeah,
Well, yeah,
and
because
all
their
and
consumer is those people that are more likely to catch the bus, I would assume,
it's us.
were Black people because we didn't own vehicles.
Not like
No,
that. Not like that. You're right.
I mean, I'm just
Yeah, we were the majority. We were the majority of the riders. That's why they had the luxury of telling us to go to the back. And that's why they couldn't afford us not to ride that bus.
But
They couldn't afford it.
we're not only back then. We were not just only the majority riders on the bus. We're the majority of the spenders. Like back then, it was across the board. We spend the money. And it's still to this day. I've looked
Everything.
at these statistics. We spend. Why do you think Ti is always advocating? Like, come on, the best way to hit them in their pockets. We don't have to sit around and ask them for things. If you think about, we were talking about when it comes to putting someone into politics, you have to have money. Well, these corporations are the ones that spend the money to get whoever they want into office. Well, how are they able to do that? It's because we buy their products. So then, if we're buying their products, then they have capital to go out here and invest on the political stage. Well, if we remove our money, start buying their products, then that eliminates the opportunity to spend that money on a candidate because we've taken that pot of money away from them. So a change can be made on the economic side. It can be immediate change. That's why I'm saying when we separate ourselves, it's going to be a domino effect. Like it's going to topple the whole system because their
So that's
system,
go ahead, go ahead.
yeah, their system is based off us. Everything that they do is based off when it comes to arts, the science, sports, entertainment. It's based off us. And if it's not us directly, we indirectly uh, influence people. People are coming to these games not to watch the owners. They coming to watch the black football players or the black basketball players.
Yeah. Ain't no ain't nobody really got no
Yeah, so
jersey, nobody else for real.
yeah
You right
we
about so
yeah
let me
we
ask you a question.
yeah
When you were talking about your separate, like when you said Malcolm and Martin was saying separate, do you think in that separation that voting should be taken out as well?
no.
When
yeah
Malcolm said we gonna pull, if they don't pull your dollars out. When Martin said the same, do you think voting is to be done with that as well?
yeah. But why worry about that over there? We're creating our own system of government over,
Yeah,
and then you
that was a
don't
good point,
just like
Saba, for
Saba,
real. I
just
ain't never
what
thought
Saba,
about that.
yeah, what Saba was
That was a good
saying.
point.
We don't have to worry about you know this person who we need to vote for to try to get this law passed in our favor anymore. We don't have to worry
Yeah,
about that anymore.
you really can't justify even participating in the system if you finna leave. You
Yeah,
can't justify that. It don't. Yeah,
just
that's like adding a
get
porch on the house you finna leave. You finna sell. Like I ain't finna add nothing on this house. I'm
yeah.
finna go. Yeah, that I never thought about it like that. I never thought about it like that.
Yeah,
But
and
you
when
really
we
about that
go,
life?
when we actually go, oh man, it's going to topple the whole system. Trust me, the whole system, because they are dependent upon us for everything that they do. They make so much money off us. On, oh, just sports and entertainment, period. Oh, so much money is made off us because we, first of all, we don't own anything. We don't own anything. They're the ones that
Anything.
are getting the biggest portion of the pie. We're only getting some crumbs here and there. If you look at the bigger picture, it's really we're getting crumbs. They're getting, man, yeah, we're getting the crumbs on the edges of the pie. They getting the pie crust, and we just getting, when you shake the pie out, the crumbs is left over. If it's some, we, that's what we get. So,
Well,
but
I think we go ahead.
yeah, that once we make that move, it would be a major move. And once we do make that move, of course, we're talking of in terms of doing bit. When I say, then we'll be in a position of power. Then it's just like any other business that you create. Then you're gonna have other suitors that want to do business with you outside of the U.S. You're gonna have other countries that say, "Hey, man, can we do business with you all?" And then you'll be in a position of power to name your price. If we're going to do something, then this is what we have to have in return. Otherwise, we don't want to do business with you because, hey, we are economically uh, viable on our own.
Right. So Saba, your 5-year plan, right? Are you planning not to like engage in any of the political process at all in that time?
I,
Or
you
or
know,
do you,
I'd have to think about it, and I'd have to
I hear
think
you.
about how effective, I feel like my vote would be. I mean, I live in Louisville, Texas. Hell, I mean,
Yeah.
even if I wanted to do something locally for, Denton County or something like that, I just don't know how effective it would be. And that's my fault for not being as versed as I should. But to be honest with you, I really don't care because I really am not actively invested in whatever these people got going on.
So to
Yeah,
that
but
point, I think if you got that mindset, you really need to be in your own shit. Like if you got that mindset, you need to be doing like your own thing, like for real. Like I ain't worried about nothing over there. Like I'm paying my bill, I'm taking care of business. That's it. Like I ain't into all that
if
other
we're
shit.
setting if we're setting ourselves, if you're saying that this is the separation, if we want to say that it's truly a mental separation, it's truly all of that, you know what I'm saying, it's a
Yeah.
multi-tiered separation, then why should
Books,
I
all
care?
that.
And if I my intention is to leave or have dual citizenship to come and visit because I have family here, whatever it is, if my intention is to reconnect with my source, then why should I care? I'm not culpable of anything because I don't care, because I want to invest my energy, my time into trying to go back to the source.
So to that point, let's flip that on history. Like if you're invested in who you are as a black woman, as a black person, do you think you need to at least know some other history? Because European history and your history, well, I ain't gonna speak. Well, I don't know if that do, but I know European history and my history collide. Like just because
Hmm.
of where I am and where I'm from, and like how I don't have direct roots to where I am. So I know I'm gonna have to know something about the American culture and European history as well as my own. But I put more emphasis on knowing who I am because that's what's gonna
Well,
mold me.
John Henry Clark says to study your enemies. Study your own history, and then study their history as well. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I just don't have an active interest in it.
Cool. So to that point, you don't think voting kind of slide into that? to where
for you, if
okay.
you feel that way, then for you, sure. I don't think I lose anything by not voting. I don't think I'm doing anyone a disservice if I don't vote. If my intention is to exit this motherfucker, then what is it for? Like, I mean,
Hold
I
on.
want to.
If you have a 5-year plan, well, they're going to be things that are going to happen that will directly affect you. If hold on, I'm not talking about you. I'm not talking about you as one person, but if the majority of us say all of us say we got a 5-year plan, the majority of us said we have a 5-year plan and we're going to exit this place. Well, within that 5-year plan, if we don't vote, there are things that could happen that could be catastrophic to allowing us to make that happen if we don't vote. Like voting.
This is your sentiment, and I respect it. However, I disagree with it.
Okay.
Throughout the duration of my life, I have not seen one vote that has directly impacted my people in a way that I can see visible change, that we aren't still dealing with the same issues that we've been dealing with, the issues of poverty, the issues of disparities in healthcare. Those issues, I mean, they persist for a long time now. And again, 50 years ago, people like us were sitting down having these same conversations about these same topics. So what in the hell can happen within the next 5 years that ain't continuously happened in the last 50 that my one vote is going to absolutely change? I think that, it's noble to think that it will, but I'm more on the side of realism, I guess, of being realistic. Um, when it comes to
Practicality, huh?
American politics, I am not the most optimistic. And it really is about a personal choice. When we talk about our ancestors died for us to have the right to vote, to correct that, they were killed. They were murdered. So, but that is so you can have the right to participate or not participate. Whatever you decide to do is a personal choice. And we can blame it on the masses of Black people that we're not getting things done the way that we should be getting them done. This is the way I look at it. You are dealing with a people who don't keep their word. They don't keep their word when it comes to treaties. They don't keep their word when it comes to shit. They are a lawless people. So for me to sit here and think that we can change laws and that will somehow prohibit or prevent the hunt for Black life, it's absolutely ridiculous to me. It ain't
That's a good
happening.
point.
It's
That's a good
it
point.
isn't happening.
That's how we got to the decision of separation in the first place, because there is no history of, well, like she said, nothing changing with us living in harmony or anything with white American culture. Like there is nothing, there is no history of it.
So
I get it.
let me just okay, so I'm gonna briefly talk about this, and I don't remember all the small details. Oh, hold on. Um, so I don't remember all of the minute details of this, but there is an Indian guru. His name is Osho. I don't know if you guys are familiar with him. So short story, he went up to Oregon and he had all of these followers, and they built like this their own little utopia in Oregon. They bought some land. Anyway, um they were in the process, the neighborhood white folks were in the process of trying to get these people out of their neighborhood. So they went through some type of democratic process where they had to vote so many votes. I don't remember the specifics, but what I do remember is on the day when they were supposed to go in and vote, the judge came in and like made a completely like new law or some type of restriction to keep these people from doing what they were trying to do. It was as simple as the judge going in and saying, nope, I know the law said this, but this is what we're about to do now. So I don't know how that process works, how that legal process works, but it was like, damn, these really are lawless people. You can have systems set up, but if somebody wants to intervene and come in and do something else, they will. And the way this thing operates, and the way racism works, and the way systems are designed to be maintained, you better believe it's gonna be motherfuckers in place trying to maintain this system that works so well for them. So when we talk about taking over and we're talking about this acquisition of power from Black people, how?
Yeah, that's a good point.
I'm just asking.
Damn, man. Oh, you want to go now? No, yeah, 50 years. That's a long ass time to be doing the same thing. So do you think, and this for both of y'all, do y'all think that's more of our fault?
Yeah, it's our
That we
fault.
that we still doing 50 years the same thing?
Yeah,
Hell
because
yeah.
we never went to
Yes.
we never went
Right
to
on.
war. We never went to war. We never went to war. But we never said, you know what, enough is enough. You either give me freedom or we give me death. We never took the extreme parts. We took tokenism and
Yeah.
moved forward.
That's a word.
Yeah.
To Saba's point, she was
Yeah.
like, and when she corrected herself, like, people were dying for us, like, no, they were being murdered.
Yeah.
And I think we think it noble to die for causes and to die for each other, but why don't we think it's noble to kill for each other?
Mm.
That's the nobility. Like, I don't want to die for my kids. I'll kill for them though.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that sounds a whole lot better. Why would I want to be gone? My kids need me here. So I will kill for my kids. I mean, that think about that whole mentality. I just switched that whole. I may, I'm what I'm saying to you is, I could die, but you could too, and that's a
Yeah.
whole nother twist on it. That's a whole nother twist. Like, no, I'm not comfortable with just dying for something. I'm willing to kill for it. Like and what I mean, and I mean,
that Haitian determination.
oh
The
yeah, to
Haitian
Saint
Revolution.
Overture. Like,
Yeah.
yeah, that's that by any means
Any means
necessary.
necessary. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
absolutely.
And that could be metaphorically or physically. Like,
Mm-hmm.
when I say kill, I can kill the American ideals that I have and replace
Absolutely.
them with my
Yeah.
Afrocentric being. And when I do that, my whole mindset gonna change. Then I start saying, I will kill to stay here. I will kill to be free instead of dying to be free. I'm gonna kill to be free. Now, what I say wrong? I said the same thing.
You
All I
know
said
what?
was, you
You
may
said the
not.
same thing as give me liberty or give me death. That
Yeah.
is the
Yeah,
same thing.
I'm gonna kill for mine.
I was just thinking
I'm
back
going
in
to
my
kill for mine.
mind. What that goes back to I guess the whole point that Malcolm was trying to make. He said instead of us trying to I guess integrate with white people, he was trying to get us to first accept ourselves. And then once we accept ourselves, just like you said, it starts about accepting ourselves in our mind. Then we'll be able to solve our own problems, and we won't even be thinking about what they got going on. It's a whole new way of thinking.
It is.
It's a
It
We
whole
tell our
is.
kids,
whole
we
new way
tell
of
everybody,
thinking.
man, look, what did Whitney Houston say, God rest her soul? The greatest love of all is loving yourself, learning to love
Mm-hmm.
yourself.
Yeah.
So if you learn to love yourself, you don't care about nothing else. Like you ain't gonna want to be invited here or go here. You, like Saba said, you ain't gonna care about what they got going on in they politics, anything. You not gonna care because ain't none of that got nothing to do with you.
I don't
Damn,
care
it
about what
really.
their designer fashion is. I don't care about what, whatever it is that is trending for them. You're not gonna give a damn about, because you know that it really doesn't have anything to do with you.
Nothing.
If it ain't, if it don't, it don't.
Man, I used to love Ralph Lauren polo. I can't remember, and even before the
Everybody did that in heel figure. Polo
man,
for that heel figure way.
yeah,
Hey,
I love when I say
but
polo, man. I'm talking about polo down, man. I had it all, and even before the pandemic, I ain't really wore too much polo for a couple of years.
Yeah,
It's just
me either. Mine is just sitting up in the closet.
yeah, I just don't have. I don't even have a desire for it no more. Like
it's like
nothing.
sometimes you can't really, it is like we were talking about once before, it's super inconvenient to try to buy all black brands. It's like you gotta try to get it off of the internet. You can't try the pants on, you know what I'm saying? If I try to buy
Yeah,
some jeans, I can't try them on. I just kind of gotta, it's inconvenient, and sometimes you do have to buy for them. But I'm just saying, like, getting sucked in, try to buy as much as you can with your own people,
yeah, you
and
got
then
to.
just getting sucked into this idea of what luxury is. And this I guess what they call the scarcity model that they use. Like, this is unavailable to you. This is inaccessible to black people. And so you try to make it inaccessible to black people, and then black people want it. In the hood, all that, you ain't supposed to have Gucci, you ain't supposed to have Prada, you ain't supposed to have all this stuff. And so now it's like, okay, well, this is a status symbol for me if I do get it. Why do we care about that? Those people are not putting any money back into our neighborhoods. you know
Perception.
th- those people aren't, they aren't doing anything for us. So why would I care? Why spend so much money at the Gucci store? Why even these elite top tier artists are talking about all of these brands that your everyday black person can't afford? And it's kind of like you're making a mockery of them because they can't afford it. You broke because you ain't got this and you ain't got that, and none of that shit benefits the black community. It's really damaging.
Yeah, because you hear that and you want to basically you want to stun on these folks, man. You want to get it, you
Right,
can stun on them like that.
right.
People that you don't even know, you want to impress. We just gotta, yeah, that it's just it's
And that's a
it's
lack of, and that's really a lack of self love.
yeah,
Because
it's
when
a
you
reason,
love yourself, you just stun on them with your afro. You feel
man. That's what you do. That's what you do.
me? That's how
It's a
you stun
reason,
on. You start different.
yeah, it's a reason they call it radio and TV programming. Like it's programming. Like it's
Yes.
words mean shit, man. Like for real. Like this ain't people just don't call this a TV program. It's a program. I
Yeah.
need you to watch this and I want you to feel a certain kind of way.
I
That's why
want you
it's
to
called
think
a
a
sitcom.
certain way.
I
I
want you
want
to
you to,
think this kind of
yes.
way. Yeah, that's why I'm putting these images out there. Bill Cosby put out Different World and the Cosby Show because he wanted to program you to look at black family life and black college life like that.
Yes.
That's why he put it out. It's a
Yes.
program.
Yeah.
So yeah. So like you said, it's we radio and TV, man. You just got to. My daddy always told me, man, listen to the words. He said anybody can put a beat out. That's a frequency. He said you'll jive to any beat. He said listen to what they really saying though.
Oh yeah. Yeah. They not
Sometimes you
saying,
can't.
and they not saying absolutely
Man,
nothing now.
they
But I
put some
am,
words
so you
together,
can
but you like,
follow
what?
me.
Oh yeah, I hear you.
Hey,
I hear you. I'm listening
have
to
you heard
those
her?
bars.
Have you heard her? You heard her?
Yeah, she's spitting
Okay, yeah.
bricks, not
And
bars. It's bricks.
yeah, you cold with it. You for real cold with it, man. Like seriously.
I
Yeah.
appreciate
But
it.
oh yeah, for sure, man. You want to drop anything and tell them where they can find your music or your artistry
Well,
anywhere,
you know
Saba?
what? I
Yeah.
mean, you can always follow me at Saba SABA underscore the THE underscore God is GODIS. Um, I have some music that'll be coming out soon that people
Cool.
can rock with. But until then, they can just go on there and look at my freestyles on my IGTV.
Killing it. And she is
Yeah.
killing it, y'all. Like, no lie. Go to them IGTV clips, man. You on
You
Facebook
might
too?
learn something. You might
You
learn
might
something.
learn something if you listen just a little bit. Yeah,
And
she don't talk.
hey, you introduced me to another artist. I don't know what that guy is. He can play the piano, the guitar, all that stuff, and he be spitting.
Lil Sick. Lil
Oh
Sick. His name is
yeah,
Lil Sick. Yeah,
yeah.
he is
He,
extremely talented.
he's sick.
He plays guitar, he
He's
plays
sick.
drums, he plays piano, and he plays saxophone. He's
And he got bar.
incredible.
And he's
And he
throwing
got
bricks.
bars.
He got bars.
He's got
That's what's
bars.
up. That's
Yeah.
what's up. See what I'm saying? Black people, we are
So I
so black.
started following him. I was like, man, I never heard of this guy. And I started like, man, this guy. I'm not understanding why he's not, you know,
Blown up yet. Yeah.
like
Listen to what they saying. That's why.
Yeah.
They
But
ain't.
he's got message music as well. So he's an artist in every sense of the word.
yeah, he
Yeah.
Great.
does it. He does it both.
He's a musician.
Yeah.
He's definitely a musician. But anyway, yeah, this was a great conversation.
It sure
My
was.
perspectives are definitely geared towards separation and I guess my commentary is based on the pursuit of separation.
Yeah, you separate
People
without
can
no
people
participation.
can
Mm.
people can choose to do exactly what they want or whatever makes them feel comfortable, and I'm not trying to dissuade anybody from participating in any political process. That is your right.
Oh yeah.
So if you feel like your vote makes a difference, and I'm not saying it does or it doesn't, these are all personal views. I don't want people to be like, well, she just saw this or that.
No, they'll be all right. They'll be all right.
This is my personal position on things, based on the things that I have researched, read, and just my own personal sentiments. These are the conclusions that I've come to. But I do think on the local level, like I was saying earlier, to reiterate, in the microcosm, I do think it can be effective. And so if your ultimate plan is to live here and die here, then you definitely need to be probably participating in your local elections and figuring out who's who, in your neighborhood and who's running for what. And that's all I have to say about that, I guess.
Yeah, that's cool. And like you said, our ancestors were killed for our choice, not for us to. Either way, it was well, yes, it is two either way. If you don't want to vote or if you do, they were killed for that choice.
Mm-hmm.
And you shouldn't make anybody feel any kind of way because you do or because you don't. And like I said, we're all on here. We've had different opinions about that, different way, but there's no disrespect. Everybody respects everybody's opinion and choice. But like,
Unless you voted for Donald Trump, then we got a problem.
huh? Huh? Look, oh Lord,
Really and truly, Donald Trump is just pure entertainment.
Donald Trump is America.
I have never seen this level of idiocy from someone who is supposed to be. I mean, Bush was dumb too, but Trump is next level. But he is funny. That when he said that kung flu shit, that took me out. Okay.
Oh yeah, and he kept saying that dude he don't.
He
When
called
I
him
say he don't give a
crazy
damn,
Nancy and crazy Barney.
Yeah. It's like what grade you in? Like I don't know, man. This
He
is gonna be
is
a very funny
childish, but let
political
me tell
season. Yeah.
you that this is a shit show. But that took me out. That kung flu took me out. Something is wrong with him.
Yeah.
But I think that I think that he's gonna win a second term, unfortunately.
No. Do
I
not
hope
speak
you're
to that to
wrong,
extent.
but I hear
Please,
what you're
I
no.
saying though.
believe, yeah, I
I
believe
think
that it's going to
that might
happen.
expedite the hey, we need to go and get them t-shirts
Trump,
made. The
Trump
plan
is the
is to separate. That should be
yeah.
the name of the
Hey,
t-shirt.
hey, and you know what? The guy that I'm talking about, he said you can go to your he had all of the paperwork and everything on his Instagram that he filled
Yeah, I
out
saw that.
yeah, I think
I
I
started
shared
following them.
that.
I started
Yeah,
following them.
yeah.
As soon as
Great,
I saw him on
great.
your, I was like, man, let me follow this dude, see his journey. I want to see how this work
Yeah,
out.
I definitely want to. Definitely.
Yeah.
Um so I guess there's ways, you can get your papers and you can get set up and we can go, you know what I'm saying? Go over
Yeah.
there,
I need to go, man.
rock out. At
I
least
would
I would like to at least go and visit within the
I
next
want to go and
year.
visit.
Yeah.
Have
I
you
Yeah,
would
we
love
need to
to.
plan
have
a
you ever
we need
been?
to plan a group trip, guys.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
Have you ever been?
Me?
Yeah.
I have not been, and unfortunately, because my dad goes to Ethiopia. He's been going back quite a bit, but right now there's a little bit too much civil unrest there. But I
Yeah.
should have been back home. But I don't even know if I'm gonna make it home first. I probably have to go to Ghana or Senegal or somewhere
Shit. I
first,
was just gonna say, let's
and
go to
then go to
Ghana.
Ethiopia. Yeah, for sure.
Dead serious. Let's go to Ghana.
I'm look. They open for business right now.
See, y'all think I'm
They
playing.
open.
Y'all think I'm playing.
I would like to go, and I would like to
So,
go to Tanzania. There's a few places that I would like to go. We need to plan a trip.
all right.
There
Don't
is
say it.
a guy named is it Asher Kwesi? You know, he is it Ashra? Ashra
Shit, I don't know.
Kwesi?
Who
You
you
don't know him? He lectures. I think he worked under John Henry Clark, if I'm not mistaken, for a while. But he lives in Dallas, and he is the one that goes back to Egypt every year. He does the Egypt trip
okay.
every year, and it's like $4,000. But look,
That ain't
the
shit.
trip the trip I heard is so worth
I've
it,
seen
and you even go on a cruise over the Nile River. Everything, it's like 14 days.
$4,000.
Yeah,
That's round trip.
for everything.
Shh.
But I doubt if they went this year. I
Corona,
doubt if they
yeah.
went this year because of Corona. But I heard, I have my significant other, actually. He's gone on the trip. He went on the trip when he was younger, and he said the trip is just so worth it. It is a great
Oh,
trip, very
okay. When
educational
is it?
trip.
When is it?
He does it, I think, like in May and June. It's in the summertime every year.
All right. Let's look to it next year if Corona gone.
Yeah,
For
we
real.
need to get
I'm
it
serious.
gone.
Yeah. I don't
Yeah,
trust
we
none of this
can't get
stuff
it
out here,
going
man.
if hey,
You know, Texas is open for business, man. Everywhere in Texas is open.
it's open for
Really?
business
That's
right
Dallas
here.
wide open, man. I got a text from some clubs the other night. Say, come on out. Wear your mask. We doing temperature checks at the door. I was like, what?
Oh my
Oh, my.
goodness.
They are open for business.
Y'all,
They are open.
I don't know if anybody have you known anybody that's been affected by coronavirus?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. I had
Our
it.
homeboy, our best friend. You had it too?
Yeah, I had it back in June, in
You did?
mid-June. Mm-hmm.
Oh
Yeah.
Shit.
man.
You
It
was
was
down for
super
2 weeks?
mild. It was
Oh, okay.
super mild. I mean, I was very blessed. And I just attribute it to all them, oils and all the stuff that I took prior to. I was taking sea moss. This is a whole nother conversation, y'all, but y'all need to get this information.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was taking sea moss, elderberry syrup that has sea moss in it, and some other stuff. And then I was taking that every day. This is prior to getting sick. And then I take black seed oil every day. So those were two things that I was doing, and I was taking vitamin C. So when I actually contracted it, I believe I went to the ER for something else, and I believe that's when I contracted it because everybody was just going into the doctor with it at that time. Yeah. So yeah, it was super. I didn't have a fever. I had like a sore throat for 2 days, and I had a slight cough. And I felt like, I don't know if it was anxiety, but I felt like there was a little kind of like a little bit, maybe like a tinge of shortness of breath. Maybe. I don't know. But my oxygen, I had a pulse oximeter I ordered, and my oxygen was always high, like 99, 100%. So I was obviously getting all of my oxygen, but that was it for probably about 2 weeks. And I had some nasally kind of symptoms. The only reason why I actually knew that I had it is because my dad and my daughter had been quarantined. They hadn't been anywhere. And the day after I got like a little bit of a sore throat, my daughter had a low grade fever. So the whole house had it. And she had a fever for 20, she had a low grade fever for 24 hours. And then her fever broke. My dad's older, so I think he had a fever for about 4 days. He had the worst out of everybody. But as far as like the way that you feel, it wasn't anything like analogous to the flu. I guess maybe we're just blessed. Whatever strain we had, it wasn't that serious. It was like a cold, like a common cold. Damn. And you probably feel more run down with the cold. I was still exercising, running, doing all that type of stuff when I had it. I wasn't around nobody, but Right.
I had a friend that got it. He said, man, it was the worst thing ever. He said he thought he was actually about to die.
See, that's...
I don't know, somebody else?
My homeboy, Willie, he stays in Arkansas.
Damn.
Said, I think it's very important to keep yourself... Yeah, I think it's very important, and I don't know if this has any bearing on it, but I think it's very important to keep yourself healthy. I don't eat I have a pescatarian diet, but I think it's very important to try to keep yourself healthy during this time, and I think your body will have a better chance of trying to fight something like that off if you're staying healthy and taking doing a lot of alkaline. With my daughter, when she got sick, I was like, for the next 7 to 10 days it's straight alkaline diet. So she recovered super, like, really good. She has asthma, so I was really concerned about her. But she has mild asthma. It didn't affect her at all. So we were just grateful, I guess. We were just fortunate. Hopefully don't have to deal with it again. I don't know how long the antibodies last. But since I had it, I've been a little bit out. I've been a little bit, out here just a little bit. Yeah, but it's coming up on that 3-month mark since I had it, so I'm kind of like slowing down because I don't know what the antibodies are like.
Right. And see, I'm one of them black people that had it in December. I had mine back in I swear, man.
I'm one of those black people that had it in December. That's hilarious. No, they weren't having it. Y'all it was here. It was.
Let me tell you something. I don't go to the doctor at all for nothing. I don't care what's going on, flu, whatever. Man, it was a Sunday, and I had battled this thing for like a week. I said, no, my head was hurting. I was pain was everywhere. I was getting cold, and I was like, nah, I can't do this, man. Because I don't take medicine like Tylenol. And I was like, nah. I went to the ER. I went to the what you call that? People that urgent care. I went to them. Urgent. They looked at me and they was like, they took the flu test. They're like, you ain't got no
negative
flu. Guess what they told me? But it's a virus going around. I said,
yeah,
okay.
They didn't know it. They didn't know what it was.
So they gave me like 3 days worth of antibodies and just shot me up. And like in an hour, I was straight. Then the next thing I know, January came. And then February, that's when I heard about the whole coronavirus. I'm like, damn, I wonder if that's what I had. Because I'm telling you, she looked me in my face and said, oh, it's just this virus going around.
Hey,
they didn't know what it was. And those people who were getting sick at the top of the year and maybe last year, I have a friend, he got really sick in January, and I was like, oh, you know what? I'm gonna just come by there and probably drop you something off. And thank God I didn't go because he was really sick. But that's the only time that he's gotten sick, and he 6 months later has tested positive for the antibodies. So January was prior to them saying coronavirus was here. Mind you, my ass was in the epicenter of coronavirus in February. I was in New York.
Oh boy.
On the subways.
Hey, I'm one of those black people that think he had it back in 2003.
Look, I gotta go.
No. Let me tell you the story. No, serious. Look.
What black people was these?
What black people was these? Jelani said, what black people are these? We don't know y'all. We don't know shit about y'all.
I'm trying to introduce y'all to one right now.
All right, let me 2003 coronavirus.
I'm getting ready to no, I was in Mississippi State, getting ready to go to see Kim in Philadelphia. Man, when I get the flu, I know when I'm about to get the flu because I get a headache around my eyes. So I'm like, I woke up with a headache around my eyes, and I'm like, I know good and well I'm not trying to get the flu, and I'm getting ready to go, make this trip. So hey, I got on the plane, I'm taking Theraflu and all this stuff. And so, the symptoms progressively got worse. Man, I got a bad fever, all of this stuff, just like the flu. When I got back to school and went to the health center to, get a test or whatever, they said it was not the flu.
I gotta go.
Seriously, they said it was some type of...
In
2003, but it left
Deacon Dotson. We are in the year 2020.
I'm trying to let you know that
man said
flu
17 years ago.
That jump was already here.
That could have been brother. That could have been H1N1. That could have been SARS. That could have been Ebola. That could have been any damn thing.
Look, that was
17 years ago.
COVID-19. They just
in 2003. He had COVID-19.
He had the 2003 version of COVID-19. Y'all are funny.
Oh, shit, this boy crazy. Yeah, well, that's gonna do it for us, man. Cause it's gonna get off the rails, I think.
Who were those people back then that had
2003? Man.
Okay.
Right, good convo as always. We will be back next week, same time, 7 p.m. with another subject talking about how to inform and enrich our Black community. So appreciate you, Saba.
Always a pleasure.
Always a pleasure. Huh?
Always a pleasure. Look, I'm on like the second little glass of wine.
Oh, okay.
Oh, wait,
So that's why the video kept going in and out. Was that to get a nice quick sip in real quick?
Go on. Stay out my business. Stay out my business, Deacon Dotson.
I thought her Wi-Fi was going out. She told her to stay out of pocket earlier. Oh shit, y'all crazy. Oh, there it is.
Look, I was getting a phone call.
Oh yeah, she gotta go. We gotta go.
Okay.
Hey man, Dyson, Saba, a pleasure again. Appreciate y'all. I'll let y'all next week. People, appreciate y'all joining us, and we'll see y'all next week. We out.